Alright guys, we are in the we are now at the part where we need to actually start adding some stuff to the pages. So let's see where we are so far. So we know that the index page right here is going to be routing my application, so that part is fine. And then we are then after that going into the app itself, and the app itself already has basically my route, so there is nothing really that renders on the screen there. So that's fine. We'll eventually go back to that, so we'll close it for now. And we did the header already previously, which it has basically my profile page, which if I click on it, it will take me there. That needs to be protected, and we will. And we have our login page that takes us to our login page. Maybe not. Yep, not right now because we don't have anything in there yet. So let's just go ahead and start with our home page. That makes more sense. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna call our home page that we already created. Let's just close this Firebase. We don't need that yet now. Let's close the header. All right, so in our home page here, so let's just set up, this basically is not going to do a whole lot of logic, okay? It's gonna be very easy to do. So we're gonna bring in we're gonna bring in our box from Material UI, there it is. Let's go ahead and delete that. And I don't like keeping my stuff up there. I like keeping React at the very top. Alright, so we're gonna bring the box, we're gonna bring the container, and what else? We're gonna bring a button component. So now that we have these in the home folder right here, okay, so another thing we're gonna need is we're going to need from the React router done, we're gonna bring in use navigate. And the reason we're going to need this is because we're going to be using, we're gonna be linking from page to page. Now here's the thing. Well, actually, we'll go back to that. All right. So so let's build our stuff in here. So I'm going to create a box, and then inside the box, I'm going to create a container. So that basically creates a wrapper. The box creates a wrapper, and container creates a nice container in the center of the screen. So this is container, by the way, in sign language. And then inside there, we're going to then put an H1, and I want to just call it home page, and a nice little welcome to the coffee app. We're going to use Firebase for this, for authorization purposes, purposes. All right, just so I can have something on the screen. All right, so now inside there, inside our own container here, I'm going to then, let me just go ahead, for the sake of making this a little faster, I'm going to grab from my notes here. Let me make sure that let me make sure first that I don't break my own stuff. Okay, here we go. Alright, so I'm gonna bring this in here, and I'm just gonna explain what it is. Alright, so in here I have a box, which is yet another magical container that you don't see, but it lives there. It's like this magical space. Okay, and then in there I'm basically setting up some properties, for styling, that is going to use display flex and justify components and align items to kind of center things up a little bit. And inside there, then I'm just gonna have three normal things, just two buttons with an or text in the middle, which has a little margin separation between the buttons. These buttons right here uses this stuff here, variant, props, and all that stuff. They're just basically coming from material-wise. What makes the buttons blue? It's whatever. All right. And then the last thing that I'm going to have is I'm going to have this login and register functions here that are attached to the click events, so that when I click on the buttons, they do something. Now, so that's it. That's very simple. If I run it right now, it's going to break because this login function is not existing, and therefore you can't call something that doesn't exist, right? It will tell you, sorry, can't do it, can't find it. So we're going to come in here inside the component, and we're going to create a login function. Oops, what was that? Okay, a login function, and it's gonna be an arrow function. I'm gonna copy that, put it in here, and then this one's gonna be called oh, we're gonna need 3 of them. No, 2 of them. Login and register. Yeah, login and register. So what these logins are going to do is they're just basically going to give me the ability to click on the login or register and take me to those pages. So I'm gonna go ahead and save it now because that should render, and we're gonna give it a minute, and there it is. So all basically this is going to do is when I click on login, which is not gonna do anything yet, when I click on login, it should route me to the login page, and when I click on register, it should route me to the register page. So how we're going to do that is by the use navigate route react routed DOM method. Now you probably thinking, why don't we do it the good old way of, you know, a href and then like that? Why don't we do it this way? Okay, technically that's not wrong. Technically that'll work, that will work. But the problem with this is that it creates a page refresh because you're using hyperlinking into, you know, to link one page to another page. So it will create a refresh on the page, like just blink a little bit. So it's kind of ugly and it's kind of slow. So instead we're trying to just re-render a view real quick on the screen based on the information that we already have. So to avoid doing that refresh and all that, we don't really use that. Instead we attach it to a click event, and then in the click event we use a routing method for it. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to add an event prop in there that we're going to use so that we can prevent default. Okay, so what this does is basically it avoids it escapes the natural the natural or the native function of a button. A button by itself, you know, will create its own functionality basically, that when you click it kind of refreshes the screen, things like that. So it's better to just tell the button whatever you have learned, just remove yourself and just do exactly what I tell you to do, and wait for me to do it basically. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that, prevent the default functionality of the button, and then inside there we're gonna use, oops, that's not gonna exist yet. We're gonna create first an instant of the use navigate hook over here. I called it method earlier, it's actually a hook, and we're gonna store it into a navigate namespace, basically a variable, and that's going to equal use navigate. All right, here we go. So now I can call this navigate right here and say navigate to my login path. Simple. Okay, and we're going to then do the exact same thing and copy it in here, but this one is going to take me to the register path. So I'm basically defining where those logins are going to take me. So I am going to say that, And now if I come over here, if I click on this, it'll take me to the login page, as you can see. And you see this app bar didn't refresh, didn't blink, anything like that. So if I hit to go to a register, there you go, login. Cool. So that is basically all that there will ever be for this particular component. This is the easiest component because this is basically your landing page. Imagine this to be your website, and you just landed here, right? And you're showing a bunch of stuff by your website, saying whatever, some marketing stuff and great stuff, stuff that you want your public to see. And then here you want to give them the option to whether you want to log in or not, or continue to watch your website for free. So that's why the landing page doesn't really have a whole lot of functionality. It's all basically static stuff. All right, so I'm gonna cut it off here for the sake of keeping this series modular. I know it's kind of a short video, and we probably can squeeze in some other stuff in here, but I want to make sure that I keep this a little bit modular. So we'll move on and go on to the next one. All right, guys, I'll see you later.